Hey guys, I am starting a series that's going to be taking place every Saturday where I'm going to be talking about how to be a makeup artist. But my series is going to be a little different from a lot of the series that you see here on YouTube. Most people will tell you how to build your kit and show you how to apply makeup, and those videos I will be doing as well. But I don't see a lot of videos teaching you how to monetize your skills. I get emails from a lot of people who tell me that they've spent a lot of money on a kit, they've spent a lot of money on classes, but now they don't know how to make money as a makeup artist. So I'm going to be doing this series to talk about a lot of different ways that you can make money as a makeup artist and the things that you need to do in order to get to that point. So let's get started. Ideally, it would be great if you could hire a quality photographer to start your book, but I understand that that may not be in everyone's budget. So if you decide to go the TFP route, which is trade for prints, here are some tips and some cautions to help you. Amateur doesn't necessarily mean less talented. There are people who have been doing photography for 1 or 2 years that are amazing. Yet you have people who have been doing photography for 20 years and it does not show in the work that they produce. If all that mattered was age or time, wealth and success would be synonymous with age, yet it's not. You can find good amateurs, but it's harder. You need to request to see the photographer's work and the model that you will be applying makeup to before you agree to do a shoot. Ask to see a picture of the model, clean face, hair pulled back, no makeup, no Photoshop. There's nothing worse for a makeup artist's book than a model with bad skin because you're drawn to the skin issues rather than the makeup. And also, there's nothing worse than an over-photoshopped image where you can't tell where the Photoshop ends and your work, the real makeup, begins. Depending on what type of makeup work you are aspiring to do, the look of the model becomes increasingly important. Ever heard the saying, dress for the job that you want, not the job that you have? The same applies here. You should outfit your book to model the type of work that you're hoping to obtain. Figure out what you need. Then you can effectively seek out an appropriate photographer who will be able to produce the type of images that you are looking for your book. If you don't know what your book should look like, find a few makeup artists whose work you admire who are doing the type of work that you want to do. Look at their portfolios. That should give you an idea of what your book needs to contain. As a general rule of thumb, you'll need to have what we call clean beauty looks. Think Noxzema girl. When starting out, many makeup artists tend to focus on using every color that they own. Don't worry, there will be occasions for that. But you need to perfect the no makeup look. Even in television, when it looks like they have no makeup on, they do. There is money in honing this skill. Avoid misunderstandings at all costs. Communicate your needs early on and effectively. Once you find a photographer, show him examples of exactly what you're looking for your book. You should make it clear that you need close-ups or headshots of the makeup work. This should go without saying, but it's not always the case. Also discuss who picks out the final pictures to be edited, how many pictures you can expect to get back, and when you can expect to receive those pictures. I would suggest getting this in writing, especially if you're a new makeup artist working with someone who you have never worked with before. Be sure to require high resolution images. Web-size images are fine for sites like Model Mayhem or your online website. But when you go to print your book, you will need high quality, high resolution images to be able to print. At some point, you will need a book, especially if you want to go talk to agencies and different things of that nature. Also discuss watermarks. This is a very touchy topic within the photography community. But you need to either request that you get images that don't have a watermark or that they have a very small watermark, but preferably you don't want a watermark on them at all. And you especially don't want a watermark that is going to cover the entire picture, because then even if it was a great picture and you did great makeup, you won't be able to use that picture because people will be drawn to the watermark rather than the picture itself. Now let's talk about strategic trade targeting. There will come a point where your book is getting more developed, you have more experience under your belt, and you need to eat. Now, having some practice under your belt, it's time to start securing paid work. There will be separate in-depth videos on this topic, but there are ways to make trade work turn into paid work. Find photographers that are doing paid work on a consistent basis. Now, these photographers usually have their go-to people that they always use, but everyone has a sick day. So it doesn't hurt to contact them and ask if you can maybe do one of their test shoots. A test shoot may or may not involve payment, but look at this opportunity as an audition. Even if you don't get pictures back, you're getting a much more valuable experience because number one, you're getting to work with a photographer that is operating on a professional level. Also, you are showing off your work so that in the future you may be considered for paid projects. And if you get pictures, that's just icing on the cake. The same thing goes with models. Often when models are building their portfolio, they can find great photographers that are willing to shoot with them, but the photographer may require that they use their makeup artist or that they bring their own makeup artist and pay for it. You can be that makeup artist. If you do a great job on another shoot, that person will remember you and bring you in on future projects. Once you get into the circle where people are doing more paid work and they're getting published, you will start to see more paid work. They don't say that word of mouth is the best advertising for nothing. Caution, caution, caution. Beware when people approach you and they say phrases such as, "This is a great opportunity for exposure." Ask yourself, this is a great opportunity for who? As a freelance artist, you must be business-minded. You need to find out who the audience is and can this audience afford or even want your services. If you're asked to do an event with the payment being advertising, you need to assess it as such. Before companies place ads in magazines or any form of advertising, they do research and require additional information before making their choice. You want to find out if this event has taken place before. Did they use makeup artists in the past? If so, how did they do? What is their name and contact information? Also ask, will you get ad space in their program or their flyers or on their website or wherever they're advertising this event? Find out who the target audience is and find out their demographical information as well if possible. Companies do not pay for ads in places where people do not want or cannot afford their products. Why? Because they would lose money. If you make a practice of not doing your own research, you will use up all of your product and you will have to replenish your product out of your own pocket. You will lose money. Also, you need to find out how many people you'll be responsible for doing makeup on. There's a big difference between doing 5 people and 35 people. If there's a large amount of people, will there be additional makeup artists on hand? If those makeup artists don't show up, will they be prepared to pay you something for the additional looks that you are doing? Or will they be able to offer you something else that's going to make it worth your while to take on the extra work of doing that event? Find out how much time you'll be given to complete the task. Also, pay attention to how well organized the event is. Especially if they're going to be giving you advertising space, you don't want to lend your name to something that's going to be a total debacle. Unless it's a prestigious event that has name, weight, or value to it, or it has an amazing core demographic and you're being offered opportunities to actually advertise, get your name on some piece of paper that they will take with them or that they'll see online. I would go into doing events for trade very carefully. Just remember, if it's going to be exposure for you, how are you getting exposed? How will people know who you are and where to find you? Here's a couple extra things that are important to note. When you're doing trade work, it's important to know that photographers usually take their paid work before their trade work. So that means that you may be prone to more last-minute cancellations as well as longer wait times on the turnaround for pictures. A good photographer should tell you this information going in though, and not keep you waiting. You should never have to track a photographer down to get images that you did for their shoot. Keep in mind that trade is not free. You are using your products and you are using your time. If you are going to work with someone who you know cannot produce images for you, quality images for you, you are essentially saying that your time and your products aren't worth anything. Always remember that your skills and your time are valuable. If you don't value your time, then no one else will either. Don't settle. Remember that these pictures are going to be a representation of you. So make sure that you find a photographer that's going to be able to do quality work and a model that has a quality look. Because although you're the makeup artist, people do look at the entire picture. All that being said, trade can be great if you go into it with the right mindset and with reasonable expectations. If you have any questions about anything that I mentioned or you would like to request another topic, feel free to comment below and let me know what you all think. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my channel. I'll be doing videos on this series every Saturday. And also follow me on Twitter and Facebook /OnyxBeauty1988. Links below in the description box. Thank you all for watching. Bye.